this video right here, it's gonna be something interesting. Now right here, I got a video called Larry Bird Stories That Proves He's the Best Trash Talker. Now from what I heard from y'all in the comments from the Larry Bird mixtape video, I heard, bro, Larry, man, you didn't want to mess with bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. You trash talk him, he won't get right back at you, bro. Whether it's fighting or shit, even when it comes to ball, he gonna ball out if you get at him. I ain't gonna lie, shit. I'm trying to see how my boy Larry Potter is going at these guys. I ain't gonna front. So we're gonna look at these stories and we're gonna see why he's the best trash talker.
Larry Bird was one of the biggest trash talkers in basketball. And a lot of people say, really? You know, they thought it was Reggie or Charles.
Bird used to tell me, look here, man. You supposed to be a great defender, right? And I'm gonna make sure I tell you where I'm gonna shoot the ball at.
Yeah, he said, I'm gonna get it right.
What?
Shoot it right in your face.
And I'm looking at this guy like, he's nuts.
Now that's crazy.
Jump in your face right there in that cone, and it's gonna be your Christmas present. I'm gonna wrap it up and bust your head open.
Already, bro. Wait, hold on. What? I gotta. Now, let me go back. What the hell? He said that's gonna be your Christmas present, bro. Oh hell nah. That boy Larry Potter is Santa. That's gonna be the reindeer present. Gary Payton, the reindeer. Larry Potter, Santa. Hey, what?
Jump in your face right there in that cone, and it's gonna be your Christmas present. I'm gonna wrap it up and bust your head open.
And that's exactly what he did.
If he tell you gonna hit a shot in a certain place,
What?
he's gonna do just that, and ain't nothing you can do about it.
Been a better player each step I took. I was able to do a little more than the other guys. I had a green light. I could make plays, but I always knew early on, especially when I was a junior, senior high school, that probably the outcome of the game was going to depend on me.
Well, yeah, I interviewed
He knew
Gary
already.
Payton, a venomous trash talker. And I asked him who the most vicious trash talker he's ever encountered. He said Larry Bird.
Oh, no question.
Bird talk shit, like we talk
Let me tell y'all something. Bird used to tell me, look here, man. I'm gonna go shoot this motherfucker jump in your face right there in that cone. And it's gonna be your Christmas present. I'm gonna wrap it up and bust your head open.
That
All
shit is
that
funny.
He told me, young fella, let me tell you something. I can shoot a jumper anywhere I want to. You supposed to be a great defender, right? I'm gonna make sure I tell you where I'm gonna shoot the ball at. And I was like, man, come on now, you're not gonna shoot the ball.
Nah, that's crazy. Nah, Gary Payton, he was known as a very good defender back then. I think, does he have a defensive player of the year? Or if he doesn't have one, he definitely wasn't like, he was like definitely like in defensive first teams, 100%. He was a great defender back then. So, man, Larry Bird telling yo, you supposed to be a great defender, right? I'm gonna give you the tools to guard me, and if you don't guard me, you're shit. That's what he's basically trying to say. If you can't guard me and I'm telling you what to do, where to defend, you're garbage. You don't deserve to be called a good defender, bro. Larry was trying to school,
And so he said, I'm gonna take you over in that corner right there. You see it over there by my bench, right? And I'm gonna give you something, and it's gonna be this jumper. So he went right to that corner, and I'm up on him, I'm under him, and he said, young fella, what did I tell you I was gonna do? And he turned around, raised up, and it was all drones. And I said, shit, I ain't gonna mess with you no more. He was the coldest dude I ever seen with that shit, man. Everybody be talking about these greats, they don't be always mentioning him. He was the shit. Yeah. The shit, man. He'll give it to you anyway. Larry Bird was cold.
Bird didn't talk trash.
Hey, nah, I ain't gonna lie. That's a crazy first story, bro. What? Bro, you telling me Larry Bird done hit Gary Payton with a facial of doom? God.
Oh my God, Bird talk trash to everybody. I always tell the story about Larry Bird. I remember him, he was cursing under his breath. And I asked him, I said, Larry, what's going on with you? He says, you guys are being disrespectful to me. And I says, what are you talking about? He says, you guys are putting a white guy on me.
Oh, heck.
I just started laughing. I had no comeback. He says, it's disrespectful when y'all put a white guy on me.
Larry said, I'm insulted that they would put a sorry dude like you on me. He said, no, I don't even want to play no more. He would drop the ball and take a turnover.
What? Nah, he wanted this shit harder. Damn, Larry. Nah, he said, F that. I don't want to score 50 on this sorry bum, bruh. I don't want to score 50 on an Anthony Bennett ass, bruh. What in the hell? Nah, Larry was like that. He was like that. He always wanted to beat the best of the best, huh? I mean, That's what the game is all about at the end of the day, bro. It's about competitive integrity, bro. You always want to take down the best of the best, because it makes, I don't know, it ups your ego a little bit, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That's what it is for real.
And I'm looking at this guy like, he's nuts, you know?
The story goes that when he played against Denver, they had a guy named John Hansley, a white guy, really good defender, right?
Okay.
Right.
They put him on Larry, and Larry was weighing his ass out.
Absolutely.
And Larry would run by the bench and tell Doug Moe, who was the coach, get him off me. That's disrespectful. Put a black guy on me. Because he played back in the day, that's all he played against was brothers. So he was like, I had to torch his ass so they understand.
And Larry got on the roll, started shooting the balls. Every shot was going in. Right? He runs by Frank Layden, who's the funniest guy in the league. And Frank is coaching, and Larry says to him, hey, Frank, don't you have anybody on that bench that can guard me? He goes, so nobody out here can. Frank looked down at the bench and goes, no.
Oh, no. You look back. No, bro was scared. No, that shit funny, bro. You know what I thought? Larry should have been like, he should have looked at, no, how about you come guard me? He should have told coach, how about you come guard me? See, he should have said something like that, bro. That shit would have made that shit even funnier, bro. That's hilarious.
Along with Steve Jones and Rick Barry, this is Bob Neal. Just moments before the American Airlines Sheraton long-distance shootout.
The All-Star game is in Dallas, the first three-point contest, and he just starts looking at guys, doesn't say a word, and people are getting kind of nervous. Everybody's sitting there, everybody's real quiet. You knew the guys, but you never were around them. And nobody's really saying anything, so I walk in and look around, and then he finally speaks and says, I'm just looking to see who's going to finish second.
And says, I hope all you guys in here are thinking about second place because I'm winning this.
Damn.
Excuse me?
Did you really say that? Who's playing for second?
Yeah, I did. I felt so bad.
When you walked in there, what were you thinking when you made that announcement to the room? Just messing with all those guys?
I know going into that, I remember in the locker room, Robert said something that there's no way in hell I was going to win that three-point contest. So I knew right then I had to win.
That chick's had my name on it for a week now, and I knew I was going to win this thing. I've been practicing, and my teammates said I wasn't going to win it, but I came back and lucked out, really.
Nah, shit, you ain't luck out. That's skill right there, bro. You say you was gonna win it. You put in the work that you was gonna win it. Hey, nigga, you know what I'm saying? Hey, the universe just fed you with that window. I ain't gonna lie, bro. The universe talked itself, said, bro, Larry deserved this shit. Bro, that's the art of the universe, gang. I ain't gonna lie. Nah, you deserve it, bro. Fuck you talking about.
Bird would luck out again the next year, but in 1988, it looked like his luck had finally run out. He certainly doesn't have that normal Bird rhythm going for him.
Broke Bird jumper? Shit.
That's 8. Make it 9. And 10.
Okay.
11 as we're counting. 13.
Okay.
Huge rack that time for Bird. He's still got to drop one here quickly. 14.
14,
the tie
okay.
For the money. Yo! Larry Bird at the buzzer.
He knew exactly what the score.
Even MJ, he said, fuck. Then he said, man, what's wrong with this? Even the GOAT looking, man, what's up with this guy? Did MJ participate in that three-point contest? I wonder if he did. You know, that's the good thing about stars, bro. I feel like a lot of the stars back then used to actually participate in a lot of the contests and stuff, bro. Nowadays, I ain't gonna lie, none of the stars participate, bro. Yeah, the All-Star game, I know it had to have been compy back then for sure. I'm doing a lot of yapping, though. Let me stop talking.
He knew that ball was going to win the competition for him, and it's almost like he did it in dramatic fashion just to make it more fun.
He knew it when he let it go and was headed for the winner's circle.
He didn't take off his top yet.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see when he took off his top.
Larry used to come in the locker rooms. He'd be getting his ankles taped, and he'd say, you know, hey, ball boy, run in and go find the scoring record in this building. You know, he needed those kind of challenges.
He had accomplished every goal. We hadn't lost a game on the trip. And Larry told all of us players and the media too, tomorrow night's the last game of the trip. I'm going to play this with left-handed at least through three quarters.
It was at a time when, you know, McHale was still coming off the bench.
And so Larry scores his 6th point on a left-handed shot.
And I'll never forget it. McHale yells out.
And McHale goes, hey, Jerome, wait till he starts shooting right-handed.
And at the end of three quarters,
bro, making circus shots.
Well, left-handed is one thing, but when the game got close, I had to go back to the right one.
He could hold all these things in his head during a game. So he'd have a shooting drill at the old Boston Garden.
4:30 in the afternoon. I was an early guy. I'd set up early. The garden would be dark.
You know, late in the afternoon by himself, dark garden, come out with an equipment guy and just do the perimeter, shoot for half hour. All you heard was swishing.
If he missed a shot during that thing, he'd say that the Bull gang set up something wrong with the rim. You know, otherwise that would have gone in.
I'd get there early, plug in my Stone Age computer right next to the bench. He'd come over, he'd call me Scoop, say, Scoop, what are you working on? I'm saying, I'm doing an early story.
Then I'd say, well, I'm doing an early edition newspaper story about your free throw streak.
You are approximating the NBA record for consecutive free throws, so don't miss one tonight or I'll look bad in the paper.
Sure enough, first half, he goes to the line for 2, and the foul line is lined up right where we're sitting if he looks over.
He's at the line. He makes the first.
He looks over and winks at me.
He looks over and winks at me before he makes the second. I mean, guys don't do that today. And he would...
Always thinking about these things. It's like paying off a bet in the middle of a game. He was doing 2 things at once.
Well, you had the...
Shit, he was a multitasker, bruh. That was Larry Bird, the multitasker right there, bruh. Shit, always wanted to... He definitely cared about the records as well, but it's like... winning is what mattered most to Bird and shit. If you trash talk him, he gonna back up that shit, bro. He say he gonna do it. He gonna do whatever he can to do whatever he can. Shit, that's what it's looking like, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. So far, bro, the 3 of these stories or 4 of the stories, bro. Nah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I can see why y'all say this guy was like that, bro. I can see.
Bird night.
I had the Bird night. That was a tough night, man.
But nobody was guarding Bird, were they?
Well, we were trying.
You were trying to.
No, but when a guy is literally coming up the court, calling his shots. It's in that game, we're on the free throw line, and he literally says,
"It's off the glass. Who's next? Where do you want this one from?" And he just made one after another, and he just tortured it mentally. That game, he tortured all of them.
I think Bird went by the bench one time, too.
He fell in the bench.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, and he called that one. That was the one where he fell in it. He literally said, off the glass into the trainer. And, yeah.
His last shot, he said, in the trainer's lap, coming down the court. He shot this high rainbow. It goes in. Ricky bumps into him, and he knocks him on our trainer's lap. So it's exactly what he said.
Antoine Carr.
What in the hell, bro? Nigga, what they saying he was telling offenders what side of the ball you want me to shoot at? And niggas still couldn't stop it, bro. Is that what I was hearing, bro? Bro, you was telling you, bro, where do you want me to shoot at? They'll directly tell him to shoot right there. He shoots right there. You still can't stop you can't. Oh my God.
And Cliff Levingston got fined by Fratello, I think.
And Eddie Johnson for celebrating
Bird.
Yeah, it was the best film session. Every time when I see Mike, we still laugh.
God,
it was the greatest film session ever, because back then, you watched the real game and just went, with a video, and Mike rewound the celebration 20 times.
And they show a shot of our bench. Cliff Livingston and Eddie Johnson are standing up giving
But I had the opposing team celebrating for them. I seen that at first, but it's like, bruh, like, how you so cold the whole other team is celebrating your shot, bruh? That's crazy. That is actually insane, bruh. Like, I wouldn't, like, in NBA games, I wouldn't even look to celebrate the other, but like that one, you just can't hold it in, bro. You kind of have to celebrate that shit. Like, you got whooped so bad, like, you just have to laugh that shit off, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It's like you and your friends at the lunch table, y'all roasting each other. You can't come out with no roast, so you just laugh. That's literally what it is. I ain't gonna lie. You laughed at your own embarrassment.
I mean, everybody was entertained by this. Even the guys on the Atlanta bench.
They got fined for that, I heard.
Yeah. Watch the reactions on the Atlanta bench.
Nah.
You see Scotty Hastings with them. Yeah. Watch Cliff Levingston over here. I think this is Cliff.
He just kept rewinding, showing the guys. You remember they're giving each other high five.
And then somebody falls off the bench.
Yeah,
too.
that was Eddie Johnson.
Yeah.
Eddie Johnson falls off the bench in laughter, and Antoine Carr and Cliff gives each other high five. And our film session was 20 minutes of that.
20 minutes?
Yeah, and so it was a bad night.
The first game against Larry Bird, it was shocking. And I'm a rookie, I go shake his hand, and he put both hands behind his back. And I'm saying, okay, he's getting his head ready.
Dominique Wilkins.
First play of the game,
Dominique Wilkins, but
I don't know where they got you guarding me, Holmes. And he shoots a 3. I was pissed. I said, I wasn't mad he hit the 3. but this some bitch just called me Holmes, you know. And so it's set up for a really interesting game. Because I remember one time I came down and I dunked it on him. He laying on the ground. He fouled me, and I'm pointing. And he said, "Hey, Rook." I said, "What?" He said, "I like you. You know." He said, "You got balls, but I'm still gonna get 30 on your ass."
Word.
He got about 38, so he kind of proved his point. But I had
oh shit! He got 38. So that was 8 more than he even said. He said, "Shit, you him me. At the end of the day, I'm gonna still beat your ass." When you look at the scoreboard, shit, I'm gonna win the game and I'm gonna score more than you. Shit, f that dunk. I don't care. I'm getting. He was on a revenge tour that night. After that dunk, he went on a revenge tour. Oh my God. I wonder how much he had.
Pay my dues. I wasn't upset about that because, you know, back then, you know, as a rookie, you know, you got to pay your dues. Simple as that.
It was funny, the first time that I played in my rookie year, I guarded Larry Bird, and it took me about 10 minutes to realize I should be probably guarding him instead of staring at him. You know? And he came down, it was funny, he came down one time, and Mark West was the center on our team, and Larry looked at me, and then he looked at Mark, and he said, "Mark, I'm going to go down, I'm going to come off the screen, I'm going to catch it right there, I'm going to turn around, I'm going to shoot it in the rookie's face, and then I'm going to run down the floor." And that's exactly what he did. And I'm sitting there, that just happened.
But did he talk to you, or you weren't good enough?
Through me. He never addressed me.
I love that.
Like I wasn't even there.
And did Mark West going?
Mark was like, "All right,
okay,
man,
all right."
You probably will.
He hit him with the welcome to the league. Welcome to the league, young fella. That's what Larry Bird hit him. Hit him with that little pull up. Welcome to the league, young fella. You win the league, bro. You playing against the greats, bro. Welcome, bro. Get ready to be embarrassed. That's what he was basically hitting him with.
And then he did.
Hit him with that move.
There was nothing I could do about it.
He backed up whatever he said. If he tell you going to hit a shot to a certain place, or if he going to take you down to the post, turn around, hit a fadeaway J, he going to do just that, and ain't nothing you can do about it.
These guys came in together in 81. There's Kevin, there's Larry, there's Robert. Dennis Johnson, Danny Ainge, they knew what each other could do. And what I did was said, okay, let's see what's happening out there. And you'd see Larry shooting a three-pointer, and then I call a timeout, and they didn't count the three-pointer.
Larry just hit what would have been the game-winning shot, but KC called timeout.
It won't count. It does not count. Boston had called a timeout.
Larry came back to the bench, and he was a little upset.
So he's very upset with that. So I diagrammed the play. He says, "Heck with the play, Case. Hey guys, when I come back after timeout, I'm going to go right to the same spot. I'm going to kick it in. Give me the ball and tell all the rest of the guys to get out of the way." I said, "Shut up, Larry. I'm the coach here."
Nah.
Okay. All right. Then
Larry
you take
the
ball
coach.
out, give it to Kevin, then you throw it to Larry, and everybody get the hell out of the way.
Celtics are down by 2 points, and Bird is out by the three-point line, and he's being guarded by a guy named Johnny High.
He goes down before the ball is thrown in, and he's standing right in front of the Phoenix bench.
Johnny about
and
to
he looks
turn
at
the
all the guys on the
cold.
bench.
Johnny
says,
cold.
Yeah, I'm just fixing to bust a three on you guys and just go home. I'm tired of this.
And he says, "Watch my hand as I follow through."
And, Johnny High sort of smiles and laughs about it.
And I was supposed to cut off the high post and post up for a second and then go across and set a pick. Well, I came off the pick and I was wide open and I stood there waiting for the ball. I had a smaller guy to post up and Larry just waved me out of the way saying, "Get out of here, get out of the way."
And then he just turns around and shoots a perfect three.
As the ball's in the air, he kind of turns towards the Phoenix bench and yells, "Told you so!" He's out running to the locker room.
As he continues on to the dressing room. Now, that's what you call arrogance.
And shit, that's not even arrogance. That's just called taking over. I ain't gonna lie. Not even, it is arrogance, but he's really just taking over. And at that, it's like, that just shows you, like, out of any player, like, in a fourth quarter, who you want the most. I ain't gonna lie, you gonna want Larry Legend, bro. You gonna want Larry Potter, bro. He gonna cast a spell, he gonna freeze time, and what he gonna do? Hit that motherfucking shot when you need him. You know what I'm saying? Every time Larry about to go up for the shot, it's like time freezes. You don't even know what's gonna happen. It's either he hit it, some magical shit just start happening in the air. You start seeing ghosts in the air, spinning. I don't know what the hell's going on. But when Larry Bird take the shot, that's something you don't want to miss. I'll tell you that much, bro. If you miss that shit, you miss it. You feel me? But you want to be there when that bro when he there in the fourth quarter and he hitting that final shot. You get what I'm saying?
The time I learned to run Larry's play, not the coach's play.
He wanted the light on him. He wanted the focus, and he wanted that ball. And if KC would ever call somebody else's play, Larry would just say, no, I'm shooting this ball, and he would.
I get a charge when I tell someone on the opposing team that I'm going to hit the last second shot and then do it. That's what it's all about.
Tie game, 13 seconds to play. Celtics basketball.
During the timeout, I'm going through a play, and about that time, Larry steps in and says, Coach, why don't you just give me the ball and tell everybody to get out of the way? It's Larry. If he wants the ball, he wants the ball. After the timeout, we walked back on the court, and then Xavier was guarding him. So he tells Xavier, he says, I'm getting the ball.
I said, I know, I'm going to be waiting. And he said, I'm going to get it right here. I'm going to shoot it right in your face.
Live, and Bird has the basketball. Look out.
Oh, hell
Bird,
nah.
just phenomenal.
Hell nah.
He came out when right about that exact spot and shot a shot right in my face. And, you know, he was like, I didn't mean to leave 2 seconds on the clock. Damn.
Hey, bitch. No. That's that's crazy. I didn't mean to leave 2 seconds left on the shot. He wanted that shit to be the game winner, bruh. That shit would have felt better too. And you know the look that would have been on his face if that was the final second and bro hit the shot on him, bruh. It's like, damn, bruh. Like, what do you even do about that shit? Like, as a player, if I'm getting facial like that, like if I'm just getting hit in the face like that, and somebody scores on me last second, but that diminishes all my confidence, bro. Like, no bullshit, bro. I don't even think I would want to be in the league afterwards, bro. Like, I would just be like, yeah, bro. Not gonna lie, bro. I'm gonna just go work on a farm or something. The league not for me, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Larry Bird was one of the biggest trash talkers in basketball. And a lot of people say, really? You know, they thought it was Reggie or Charles. Larry Bird talked more trash on the basketball court than anybody I've ever played against. So we playing him the last play. He says to James Worthy, he says, you guys don't have to worry about it. I'm going to go right over that corner. And I'm going to catch it, I'm going to shoot it, and I'm going to tie the game or win the game, whatever the case may be. They take the ball out, and I think it was either Danny or
DJ?
the late, great DJ.
Yeah.
You DJ coming down, right, with the ball. Oh, great DJ, that's good. So pass it to Larry, he's in that corner. Now I got to go out and close Larry Bird out. So as I'm running out to Larry Bird, he's talking trash to me. I don't know why you running out here. Who says that in the middle of the game? He said, I'm gonna wait till you get one step away from me and I'm gonna shoot it right in your face. So I got one step away. He shoots it all net. 3-pointer, good.
Take the ball out, man crow right to the corner, caught the shot, shot a 3, game over. It's like, are you effing kidding me?
And he turned to me and said, you did all that running for nothing.
Oh my God. Nah, this nigga, bro. Yo, this nigga Larry, bro. Oh my God, bro. Nah, this nigga, yo, I ain't gonna lie. If it was me in the 80s, 90s, and Larry Bird saying some shit like that to me, bro, I would dang near want to strangle the guy. Bro, shut your ass up, bro. Damn. Bro, I would want to strangle this guy. Like, I wouldn't actually do it, but I would just feel so mad. Like, I would just be angry, bro. You did all that running for nothing. Bro ran like a chicken with his little ass legs for nothing. Yeah, bro, nah. Delete my character, bro. I'm uninstalling my character, bro.
Playing in such a kind of way that you didn't think it was trash talking, but it's trash talking. You're not going to tell me you're going to go over there and shoot the ball in my face. That's trash talking. But he would tell you before the play even started.
He'd tell you where he's going. He'd tell you when he catches the
Set his leprechaun legs home.
And it was great trash talking because it wasn't vulgar. I mean, he wasn't pounding his chest. You can just be standing next to him. You know, I would jump out and try to block a shot on rotation, and he'd say, Scott.
You jump high, but you don't jump that high. You can't get this.
Scott, you're a little too late.
Scott, you're not getting that. Why are you even jumping? Why are you running out of it? But it was all game.
He'd say something like, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, I mean, he talked the whole game, and it was, you know, after the game and after years of thinking about it, you're like, man, that dude, why he's one of the greatest players ever played.
He was ridiculous. He came on here. Our sportscaster played the Superman theme when he was talking about him that night after the game because he did everything, points, rebounds, assists, just steals, you name it. Larry has such a great mind for the game. I had a lot of respect for him as a competitor.
That competitive nature, the work ethic, because I asked a lot of questions.
You know, playing with Byron Scott, I asked him a lot of questions. Eddie Jones, Magic, James Worthy, Kurt Rambis, all the Laker greats. I would always sit down and just ask them questions. What actually happened there? What did you feel there? Why? You know, Bird tough to defend. Why? Because you look slow as shit to me. So he's like, I'm missing something. So like, tell me what I'm missing. You know what I mean?
You know, like I was saying, growing up in Boston, people all used to always talking about that he can't jump, he can't do this, he can't do that. And, you know, a lot of my friends was like that, you know. So, I got to the league. I called all my friends back up. I said, you know, all that trash that you were talking, you need to squash all that. This man is great. Whatever.
Nah, it don't even matter. Like, the thing is about Larry Bird, he wasn't even the most athletic player. It's like, look at it like even like Luka nowadays. You see him, bro, he's not even the most athletic player. Nikola Jokic, bro's not the most athletic player, but you know what they know how to do? They know how to outsmart their opponents and manipulate them to move to like certain spots, like to where it's like, you know what I'm saying? They're out of their way and they're able to just make plays. That's what it is, bro. It's not all about being the most athletic, being able to just jump high and dunk, jump high and block. Like, you can have all these physically gifted tools and be able to succeed, right? But if you have that basketball IQ and knowledge, you're going to be able to outplay that shit. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, knowledge is power, bro. So if you got the knowledge, bro, you can outplay anything. I ain't going to lie. It don't matter if you more physical or anything, bro. It's just technique and basketball IQ. That's literally all it is. I ain't go front.
You were saying, for a man who can't jump, he's demolishing everybody. He's doing it on everybody. He's doing it on the best defensive players in the league.
Yeah. I'll never forget driving, and I'm listening to a game. It's New Mexico State playing Indiana State. I don't really care about the game, but New Mexico State is right up the streets from El Paso, and I went to UTEP, and we're big rivalries. So I'm hoping that Indiana State will beat New Mexico State. And I'm listening to the radio, and I have no clue of the players on either team. All of a sudden, this name keeps coming. Bird. He goes to the right. Bird. He makes the shot. Bird. I said, God damn, who's
Bird?
Bird.
Bird.
Bird. You know, here's Bird. And Bird this, and Bird, oh, did you see the pass that Bird made? I can't see it, but I'm just trying to imagine it. When the time I got to the end, I said, damn, that brother can play.
Damn, shit. You heard Bird, so I ain't gonna lie. Like, I would have been sleeping just like, you would just hear Bird in your dreams. Bird, 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 Bird. The next thing you know, shit, bro, he haunted my dreams. I'm not gonna lie. Bird would have haunted my dreams. I'm not even trolling, bro. If I heard Bird's name that many goddamn times, bro, I would have just heard this all day, trash all day in my ear. Bird, Bird, Bird. I would have got pissed.
I got the newspaper the next morning and saw Larry's picture. I said, damn.
Hey,
Larry, it wasn't you know, be honest with you. The young lady that said you were her favorite player, mine too. I love you too, Magic, but not as much as I like Bird.
Hey,
people always talk about great basketball players, and they don't never mention him to be up in that round. But Larry Bird was cold. I don't think nobody ever could get out with him. You ask Magic. That's why Magic had a run, and he was mad when he had to retire in '92 because of what he was going to be missing with Larry Bird. And then you remember Larry Bird took 2 more years, and then he quit because he said his main guy who he wanted to play against is gone.
I'm going to tell this story. We're in L.A., and I'm hurt. I got a pulled hamstring, so I'm not playing tonight. So I can't play against the Celtics. You know, I'm killing myself. You know, Larry's warming up. The anthem is sung and get introduced, and right before they go out on the court, Larry comes down and says, you know what? Since you're here, I'm gonna put a show on for you. So you just sit back and watch, okay? Don't worry. I'm gonna put a show on for you. And I'm like, man, get out of my face, man. Wanna hear that? You know, that's Celtics and the Lakers. And he went out. I think he scored 38 points, about 20 rebounds, about 15 assists. And every shot he would shoot,
money,
he would turn to me. Every time he hit one, he look at me. And I said, boy.
He's like, I'm demolishing your team. I'm demolishing your team, nigga. That's like good. Now, I knew what he was trying to do though. At the same time, like he was trying to put on a show for him. Like it was like a good and a bad thing at the same time. Like yeah, I'm demolishing your team, but like I'm looking out for you at the same time. That shit is kind of funny, but it's like damn, yo, that just shows like their friendship, Larry and Magic's friendship together, bro. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch the Court of Rivals for sure pretty soon, bro. I'm gonna watch that. Y'all told me to watch that. I will definitely watch that pretty soon.
You know, the thing about it that I love about you is that most guys talk trash and can't bag it up.
Right.
But Mr. Bird, you know you can bag your trash talking up.
You definitely can.
And last but not least, I'm gonna say this because you told me one lie. You only told me one lie in your career. Only one. And you only lied to the fans and all the people in the world one time. Do you know what that lie was? You don't remember, do you? Larry Bird said that there would be another Larry Bird one day. And Larry, there will never, ever, ever be another Larry Bird.
I could look at this clip so many times.
It's mine.
I seen this about
and
5
I signed
times
it
already.
To you, to the greatest basketball player ever, but more important, a friend forever. I love you, I respect you, and I admire you.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. I could look at that clip over and over and over again, low key. Like that shit low key special now. And actually kind of knowing shit about Larry Bird now. I'm not gonna lie, but hey, bro. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this reaction, man. I ain't gonna lie. This shit was funny. Y'all wasn't lying, bro. If there's more trash talk stories about Larry Bird, let me know, bro. I'll watch them, bro. This video was fucking funny as hell. I ain't gonna lie. But hopefully y'all enjoy. And yeah, I'm out here, y'all.